Hi, it's Teacher Nina. I'm here today because I want to talk to you about Mach 1 class, which is going to be your demo class. It's actually after the first demo, once you have an interview and you kind of quickly meet with a VIP representative in Beijing in China. The next step is your Mach 1. After that is your Mach 2. If they've asked you to do a Mach 2, which isn't a bad thing, it just means they want to pinpoint exactly what age group of kids they want you to work with. So today, my main focus is Mach 1. I took some notes because I took my Mach 1 a couple of weeks ago. I jotted down a few pointers. You're going to have an opportunity to go on your teacher portal and they will upload slides. It's almost like a PowerPoint where you can look at each slide beforehand. I really suggest that you do that you take about, I'd say maybe a good hour to prep yourself and look at the slides, digest everything that's in it, then maybe go out and purchase some props. I have a video about where to buy props, inexpensive props in certain stores, so you can check that on my channel. You want to definitely pick up some items that will enhance your lesson, and that's after you've looked at it, digested it, taken notes, looked at the objectives for the teacher. And after that, you've gathered everything, then you want to take some prep time for yourself to actually practice the lesson. And I suggest you have an iPhone timer. You can put a timer on the side of your screen. You can quickly Google 10-minute timer, 20-minute timer, so that you can look off to the side to see how long you're taking to finish your lesson, and we'll go back to that too, because timing is super important with VIPKID. Where we want to start is once you've done all that prep, you've looked at everything, you've gathered all your props, then you actually are ready to go into your classroom, which I suggest going into the classroom as soon as it opens. Little tip, you can go into the classroom the night before and practice and look at yourself in that setup so that the next day when your mentor pops up on the screen, you're familiar, you're ready, and you're really comfortable. So let's go ahead and dig into this. I know there are a lot of videos about this, hopefully mine, because it's so recent and I just had it, let's say about 2 weeks ago. You get some pointers that are fresh in my head. So Mach 1 prep. First, make sure that you're looking at the directions at the bottom. It's super important to look at the bottom of the slides, of each slide, and do exactly what it's asking you to do. The mentors are going to be looking at that to see if you're giving the kids the good directions of what VIPKID curriculum makers or creators have sat there and created. Yeah, you might be able to deviate a little bit later, but if it's Mach 1, I say do exactly what those directions say. Look at the objectives. You can go into the lesson and actually look at teacher objectives. So it might say have a student speak in full sentences. Here are your key vocabulary words. Make sure they say this sentence, this sentence. This is how you prompt them so that they can give you the proper feedback that you need. That is key. I sat there and I looked at the objectives. It took me forever, but I wanted to internalize it so that I didn't have to look down to say, did I hit that? No. Make sure you know it. It's always good to have a good intro. You want to be bubbly. Hi, hello, my name is Teacher Nina. What is your name? Lots of hand gestures. It's called TPR. You want to be bubbly and bright. I was super, super happy. I'm usually super happy, but I wanted to be at my happiest point when I was doing that mock lesson with the mentor teacher. Great smile. she gave me lots of pointers, not pointers, I'm sorry. She gave me lots of thumbs up on that. Like, I loved your smile. You were extra bubbly. So make sure you do that. Make sure you introduce a reward system. I have a simple one. It's my little VIP box. Stars, you want to introduce a reward system. Go online and look up all the reward systems that teachers have, from teeth to apples to cowboys riding on a horse, flowers, petals on a flower. There are so many. You can make up your own, or you can use the basic one that VIP gives you in the little pointer section that you get on your teacher portal that gives you little tips. Again, props, tons of props. I'm always showing my little ox. You want to have props on hand. Like I said, I have a bin, and I also have a couple of bags that are below our desk. That way I can just easily rummage through something and pick up something very quickly. Make sure that you have the kids speak in full sentences, and make sure that they're repeating things at least 3 times. I remember when I went through the demo, the mentor at that time said, make sure you have the kids say stuff 3 times if it's a particular word, or you're introducing a letter, like letter X. Okay, large X, like I had flashcards. Big X, small X. What do you hear? They might say X. Good job. Next, push them to the next level. Okay, can you say, I hear letter X, and have them repeat, I hear letter X. So having them speak in those full sentences, repeating certain things 3 times, that's super crucial. They love that. Magic number 3. In the mock, and I don't have the slides with me, I just took notes from when I went through that first mock, and also I went through and looked at my notes that the mentor gave me as far as what I needed to work on and what really outstanding things that I did well. So it's lesson X. When you get ready to go into the lesson, you're going to have some warm-up slides. Do the warm-up slides, but I suggest that you don't waste time on every single section. I know there's going to be a few things on each side. I think it was elevator, I want to say king, and you had to have the child be able to tell you what picture starts with a particular letter. I think it was E and K. I would only do 1 of those, or maybe 2. I would not do every single one, because that's going to cut into your timing. And like I said, you want to be able to do whatever's assigned to that slide. I think it's like 10 minutes for the first section and maybe 15 minutes for the second. So you really want to have that. Once you become a real VIP kid teacher, when you're doing the classes, you'll have a timer on the side of your screen so you can keep up with your time. So I suggest go to Google, put a little timer on the side, and that way you can feel the same way and make sure that you're staying on task. So in those first few warm-up slides or the review slides, don't do every single thing. But what you do it well. Make sure you give lots of praise. Once you get to the letter X part of the lesson, that's when you go hard. Make sure you're like, big X says x, like go into it. That's when you have your props. I think it's an ox. Brought my ox. Had my daughter's fox from Zootopia. And you want to show those things, and again, have the child say it 3 times. Good job. And then say it in a full sentence. I see an ox. Good. Then there's going to be a matching section, and I know you're going to have the slides right there with you. So there's going to be some cards that are face down, and for the first section, they'll actually show you what's there. And I believe the first one is like X, fox, ox. I suggest, and this is what I did, the mentor liked it, I only did the first one. I looked at it with the child. I circled each one, so it's interactive. X, repeat, X. They said X. Ox, repeat, ox. fox, fox. And then I said it again, X, fox, ox, X, fox, ox. Then I went straight to the next slide. What do you think is here? And they would say, X. Yes, good job. You got to start. Fox. Ah, yes, good job. And continue. Only do that one. That's the only one I did. I moved to the next slide. Didn't waste any time. And she thought that was really good that I wasn't wasting time. You're also going to have a section where it's like tat, at, where you're doing the ending at. I would only do a few of those either. Also, you don't want to waste time. At that point, they will probably stop you to give you some feedback. Don't be alarmed. Don't think you're doing a bad job. They have pointers that they need to give you and certain markers where they have to stop you and say, okay, let me give you some advice. Let me tell you what you did really well on. Whatever advice they give you for the next half, I think the next one is symbolism and representation for the higher students or the older students. Before you get into that next slide, quickly jot down whatever they say and make sure that you complete those points so that they could see that you're taking their advice and using it. Okay? So you'll listen, you'll take a few minutes, they'll say, well, first question, how did you feel about it? And then you be honest, I thought I did this or I could have did better on this. And then they'll give you their feedback. Then they're going to say, okay, go ahead, put your timer on. If you have a timer to the side, my mentor, I already told her that I had a Google timer there. So she was like, go ahead and get your timer on. Whenever you're ready for the next section, go ahead and start. And then I went into the next Title 1, which is for the older kids. You still use TPR for them, but not as much. You're not like, yes, a little more subdued, but still interesting and engaging. So for them, when you get into their slides, the biggest thing is making sure that you circle those red words. That goes back to the teacher objectives. They will list those words. You want to circle those red words, and what I did was say the red word and have them repeat it before I read the sentences. And then there are a few sentences that they get to read also. So big point, circle, have them repeat. If they make any mistakes when it's their turn to read, because with the older kids, they do a lot more reading. They've had more years with VIPKID, know a little bit more English, so they don't need their hand held through the whole thing. What you want to do is each time that they make a boo-boo or make a mistake, circle it, underline it for yourself. When they're finished reading, then you can go back and make those corrections and say, well, Sarah, this is how you say information or environment or represent, something like that. And that way you're not interrupting them, which makes them kind of feel weird. You're waiting so that you have that respect for them, and parents behind, they're listening. So you want the best feedback possible. What else? Make sure you have good props. Where's my stuff? I don't know if I can find it very quickly, but I had a little flashcard of the American flag and a flashcard of the Chinese flag, and I showed those and had them repeat flag and what it means and how it's made and all of that, what it represents. I went into the word represent. Let's see if I can find something. And this was a good tip that I saw from someone else on YouTube. You can put represent is equals. So really quick, you put represent equals to, or it means, it also means, it's showing something. That was from one of those slides. Naturally made, man-made. I know I'm skipping through, but I'm just going through my notes. Unfortunately, I don't still have the slides with me. But if you have the slides, hopefully this can help. And these were the big major points that I got great points on. I think I had the whiteboard, and I put handmade, like man-made, and natural, I put trees and earth-made. And that was a really good point that the mentor teacher liked, so that they know the difference. And again, only do a few things per slide. So when it asks, the directions will say have the child circle or mark which ones are man-made, which items. You'll see a set of pictures or landmarks in China. Which ones are man-made, which ones are naturally made. Only let them do a few. Don't waste time. And I think we're coming to the end when it says C, not only says K, but it says that's a good one. I did really good on that. Again, I did not go through every single word. I think I went through the first 2 words of each category. So do that. Make sure you stay sweet and kind. Pretend that's your child on the other side of the screen. And be patient and really pretend it's a kid there because you really want to do a good job. I hope those little bit of pointers can help. Like I said, I sure wish I had those slides there, but this might be able to help someone. If it did, and you really want to be or become a VIP teacher, check out my referral code. Don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you in the classroom next time. Okay.